Good evening, everybody.
Happy Monday. I was going to say Sunday because I'm so used to always being on a Sunday, but no, that was yesterday. Today is Monday. Totally different. So we are so excited to have you guys here on orientation day 2. And as you all know, I'm Jean-Luc.
I'm Nick, and today we're diving into one of the most important tools during KickStart. And I was just making sure that we can see stuff. One of the most important tools during KickStart, which is the dashboard.
Yes.
As always, one thing I want to say, as always, if you have a question, the answer always is it's on the dashboard. Right? All of us together, it's on the dashboard. Yeah.
And it's even easier now.
Yeah.
So we want you to think of this dashboard as your personal command center. That's where you're going to find everything having to do with KickStart. So if you have a question, most likely your answer will be found somewhere on the dashboard, right? So you will have to peruse the dashboard and just make yourself more comfortable at it. And we also, this is where you're going to be finding your recipes, where you're going to track your progress with your tracking, of course, your 10 commitments. This is where you're going to be basically meeting the KickStart community as well. But before we go there, we want to do a recap from yesterday, just a really quick recap. So first things first, two things we did yesterday is we taught you guys how to register and make sure you knew if you were registered for KickStart. So I don't know if Nick wants to show that one more time.
We will do that throughout the presentation of the dashboard today. I will demonstrate it again.
Excellent. And then also we would definitely, if you weren't able to be with us live last night, go to the website, go to the dashboard. And you can find last night's recorded session already. It's already up for you to view. Again, everything is free at KickStart, so you go up to our website. If you are a registered member for the website, remember you need to be a registered member for the website and register for KickStart in order to participate with us.
Exactly. So today's session is a deeper dive into the KickStart dashboard. So I will go through a few things with you. So I would suggest today, so first of all, get your books out if you have one. So those of you who got the book, if you, someone asked us in messages last night, they asked us a question that I think I'll share here as well. They were asking about how can I use the PDF on a machine? And so I wanted to just share, there's a few options. You can get GoodNotes, which is an app that you pay for. There's also one called Free Notes that you can download as well. But if you have an Apple device, you can actually just do markup on there. So you can actually use your actual iPad to do notes. So if you don't want to purchase the book or have a picture printed copy and you want to get the PDF, that's an option as well. And Adobe Reader is actually another option. And again, for those of you who have the book, you'll see that there's a section in here called Orientation Week Day 1. So for those of you who are joining us tonight, or if you're just starting off, because I know yesterday was Easter Sunday, so some people couldn't join us, but if you're now joining us today, you should be able to get day 1, which was yesterday. Look through what it says in here that you need to do. So it talks about self-reflection is asking about yourself, asking a few questions to get you started on your journey for KickStart. Do you want to go through that? And then also just write some notes about anything you learned from yesterday. Now we're on to day 2, okay? So it's what we're learning today is day 2. I want you guys tonight, after this session, if you haven't done it yet, to go through day 2, go through the topics that are on here and make sure that you do everything on here. I'm very proud of those of you who've been introducing yourself on the forum, and we'll say it again, even if you've done KickStart in the past, introducing yourself in the forum is part of the process of doing KickStart.
Yes.
Because each time we restart is a whole new community. And so we want people to get to know each other. And what's fun is that sometimes people will say, oh, I'm from that same city. And then you guys end up becoming close and going for walks or doing things together. And that's what it's all about. So if you come back to KickStart for a second time or third time, and you're not sharing where you're from, you're not going to make those connections the same way.
And I also really recommend it for our alumni Kickstarters.
That's what I'm trying to hint at.
Our alumni Kickstarters, mention it that you've done Kickstart before. You guys are seasoned pros already. You know what you're doing. You have an idea, and you guys could be out there helping our new Kickstarters on their journey of making sure that they're, being committed to themselves.
So today you're going to do day 2. So today, day 2, I just looked at it because, I wrote it, but I don't remember exactly what it is. But I just looked at it. And day 2 is changing your profile. And I'll show you guys how to do that today. It will also how to introduce yourself. So where to introduce yourself on the KickStart website. And also discussing our Spaces by Wix app. So I'll talk about these 3 topics as we're doing the presentation today. So let's get started. So I'm going to share my screen. Jean-Luc is still gonna. Jean-Luc, I want you to ask me questions if you think that someone might have a question as I'm traveling. And
Sure,
and
I'll
or
ask
see in chat.
questions.
Again, as always, for those of you who are in Zoom, you guys can save your questions till after the recorded session. So if you guys want to wait till after, you can.
Zoom.
But if you have a question and you want to ask it live, just put it in chat for now. We will do the actual speaking with you guys after the session tonight. Okay, so let's share my screen to start this demo. I hope you all have your paper and pen and your notes. So here we go, okay? So I'm going to walk you through how to use the dashboard to the best of your abilities. So I created this dashboard to be even more user efficient this time around. I tried to reduce the amount of clicks that you guys were doing. I know that a lot of you had like, oh my God, to reserve all the sessions, I have to click the Zoom, I have to register everything. If I have to, there's a lot of clicking. So I condensed everything to make things a lot easier. And so I want to show you guys today what those changes are.
But before we do that, since it's already on the screen, we're going to show you if you're registered or not. I feel like Vanna White all of a sudden. Let's show them if they're registered or not.
So I am registered, as you can see. It is green.
Yes.
If you visit the website, jeanlucandnick.com/dashboard, and it says it's in red, that means you're not registered. If you submitted the form and it still says you're not registered as of right now, it means there's something wrong. Either the email you submitted is not the email that you used to create your account. So you got to make sure that the email you're using to register for KickStart is the same one you're using to log into jeanlucandnick.com. If you're seeing red and you've done it multiple times, send me a message. We'll figure it out. I just found out yesterday a bunch of people's accounts were doubled. I merged things together, so I fixed a few things yesterday. But if you're seeing red, let me know and we'll work on that. How do you actually register? So say it's red, you'll click on the red button, but I'll just go to the other way around. When you click that red button, it'll bring you to the KickStart page. This is where you register. So you may have an account for our website, but to be part of KickStart, you have to fill in the form, because this form is what tells me you want your stats to be tracked. You want to be part of KickStart. If I don't have this, your trackers will be empty. You will not see anything, because this is what I use to create all of your stats, okay? So make sure you register so that you can actually join us. So that's part one of the dashboard. The most important part is checking you're registered. Part two, which will scroll down below, is up next. So one of the things I got last year was it was hard to find sessions. So this always shows you the next session coming up and even tells you how many days. So right now it's happening right now, so it doesn't say anything. But if I click load more, it'll actually load tomorrow's event, which is tomorrow's step class at 6:30 in the morning that we're doing. It says it's a date till the event. So you can actually keep loading all our sessions so you can see what's coming up next. Below that is the daily guide. This is your most important button for the entire of KickStart. I will come back and show you what it does in a few seconds, but I will just remember this green button. That's why it's big, it's huge, and it's made for you guys to see it every day. I even made it bigger on your phones today because I thought the button was too small on the phone, so I even increased the size on there. Below that, past session recording. So tonight's session right now, after tonight, we'll be right here for you guys. So you just need to go to the dashboard now. You don't even need to go to the media section to watch the past KickStart sessions. You'll just need to watch them here.
And I have a question. Is the past session going to be the very next video?
Last one. So tonight's will be the first one.
The first one, exactly. Yes. So you'll never have to look. The next day session will be the first video that you see. So if you're looking for last week, it'll be at the bottom of the list. Okay.
Next below that is a menu. I will not go through all these links for you guys because this, for those of you who did KickStart before, you know what this menu is. It still works the same way. So if you were a previous Kickstarter and you want to use your track page like you used to, you want to see your former stats page, they're all still there. Nothing's been moved. So you can go back and still use these links. It also allows you to, so say for example, just an example, we're on day 6 today, right? And this button goes to day 6 and you want to see previous days. You can go down here and say access orientation guide, and it'll bring you to every single day. So this menu is just a different way for you to go to different places on the site if you want to explore more on your own, but you don't need it. You don't need it at all. It's just there in case you want to use it. Below this, more information, upcoming step classes, upcoming sessions are all here for you. upcoming events. So for example, we're going to be doing a Toronto. We're almost at 40 people that signed up for the Toronto cruise. Yeah, so we're almost at 40 people. So yeah, we're doing a cruise in Toronto. If you haven't heard about that, we'll talk about it at the end of session tonight. Brunch cruise. So that's going to be on here eventually as well. So if you want to join events, and then KickStart Stats. KickStart Stats is our group statistics. So throughout KickStart, just like last time, I'll be calculating every day every week our weight loss, how many people submitted their trackers. Remember, this is a team effort, and we'll talk about this on Thursday about tracking and why it's important. KickStart is not just about showing up for yourself. You're committing to all 300 and what did it say at the top? All 303 of us are committing to saying that we will be tracking every day for 42 days because we are trying as a group to get diamond or a highest percentage as possible as a group. And I even shared, if you guys, and I'll show you guys that in a bit, well, when we talk about the orientation guide, last year, our last picture, I think our average was 67%. But people submitting their trackers every day. We want to beat that score and every single time do better. And that's another reason why we brought some different things this time. So that's the main page, okay? One page you need to know, the dashboard page. The second area that's important to you, I'm going to show you right now, is
the big green button.
The big green button.
So smart.
So the big green button will change every day based on what is happening today. So for today's orientation day 2, you click on it, it'll bring today's guide up for you. It has everything you need to do for today. Everything you need, okay? So if you scroll down, you'll see you can also go back to previous days. So say you forgot to finish day 1 and there's some things you didn't finish and you have to go back. You can go back and to any day you want to do them at any time you wish.
So I'm going to have a question for you then.
Yeah.
So you're saying after orientation day 8, that green button will still be there, but it will bring us to KickStart day 1.
Yes.
Excellent.
And then KickStart day 2 all the way to day 42, and then eventually Kickstand day 1, and that's coming later. Yeah, that's coming later. So once you get onto the orientation guide, this is where you're going to learn this week on how to use this guide, because throughout KickStart, you will have one of these every day. Your book, if you guys got the book, if you go to page, let me see, I can find the book here and go to orientation week. Let's go to day 2, and that's on page 44. If you go to page 44, you'll see there is a QR code in your book right here, and it says jeanlucandnick.com/orientation2. If you take your phone and open your camera and scan this QR code, your phone will load directly to the page you're seeing on screen right now. So you can actually use your book and your phone and go straight to this page using the QR code right here, okay? And that's the same thing for every QR code in this book. Any page you see a QR code, it means it's a website you can use to go explore some more, get more information for that day. So back to the actual guide in front of us here. You'll see at the top, I talk about the KickStart books. Again, optional. Then below is your orientation tasks. All 8 days this week has a task that's different for you to look at.
And you don't have to wait till 7 p.m. every night to come look at your tasks. Feel free to go look at them during the day. So tomorrow, if you have time, check out day 3 tasks. So that way you can be ahead of the game if you feel like you want to be ahead.
So for your homework today, you have to visit the dashboard. We're doing it together. So you guys are lucky. You're here already. You already got the first homework done tonight. You guys are good. Then number 2 is edit your profile. So make sure you go edit your profile. Introduce yourself and down the spaces by Wix app if you wish. That's the 4 things that are in homework tonight.
One of the things we do want to say when you're doing your profile, and I think Nick mentions it there, we do ask you to use your actual names if possible, or some type of name, so that way we can actually address you properly. Because if you're using like a handle of some kind, it's harder to answer someone or know who we're speaking with. Again, we recommend and suggest people adding pictures if they can, but not necessary if you don't feel comfortable.
Exactly. So after this section, you'll see there's 5 little blue things here that change color.
Buttons.
These are all buttons. every day they'll change based on what tasks you have to do. So for example, today, one of your tasks was to visit the dashboard. So if you click this, it'll bring you to the dashboard. Look at that. You know, it's pretty self-explanatory. Each button will actually, sorry, maybe do that. Go back to, each button will get you to that specific task that you need to do.
Or area.
And there's also some different, so for example, if you have questions, you can actually visit the frequently asked questions. So these are all different buttons you can click. Next is our fitness task. On Wednesday, we'll be talking more about this, about the physical fitness tasks that we'll be doing throughout KickStart. So what we'll be doing is every day of the week, we're going to have a challenge for you in terms of activity challenges. So Mondays will be squats, Tuesdays will be push-ups, etc. There's modifications. There's beginner, moderate, and high. We will talk about this on Wednesday. But again, if you want to read this, I would suggest reading this. This is the same every day. So for this week, this has not changed. So once you read it once, you don't have to read it again. Next section is join a step class. Today it's blank, but I'll show you guys what day one of KickStart looks like to show you guys what day one will look like, and you'll see classes here.
But I'm going to say this, reading something again never hurt anybody, right?
Yes.
So if you do read it again, it's a great way to remember what activity is. So you won't even have to look on some days. You'll just have to look for the number, how many you have to do.
So what's cool, it's also cool as well, is if there's no step classes on the day, the 2 links here will link you to our YouTube channel or our class recordings on our website. So if you want to do recorded classes, you can do it straight from here. And then once classes show up here, these will become Zoom links. So you don't actually have to wait to register for a step class. You can actually come straight to the daily guide, click the Zoom link, and you'll join from there. Same thing with our live chats and cooking shows. So every time we have a session, these will be listed in this section with all the times for every time zone. I even added British and Australia time, Australian Eastern time. And this was where you'll find the Zoom link. So for those of you watching online right now, who I know yesterday some people had said they were having issues finding their Zoom links, they're all here now. So tonight's Zoom link is right here. So if you are not getting emails, you don't need to get emails anymore to join the Zoom sessions. You just need to go on your daily guide, go scroll down to the section that talks about join live chats and sessions, and then click on the Zoom link, and then you're in the Zoom chat, okay?
Which allows you to join the chats without registering, just to reiterate that. So you don't need to think, oh my God, I don't have the email, where am I looking? There is a spot for you to actually be able to join us without needing that link sent to you prior. Yeah.
Next thing is Psychic Market. We'll talk about this a little more later this week, so we'll leave this for now. Same with the Step Up and Strike It corner, but please read them. These sections are the same thing every day. It's just explaining what there are. We'll be giving you more details later this week. If you have any questions for us, there's a section about questions. You can go to our frequently asked questions section on our website to look there, or you can contact us by sending us a form. There's a form you can fill out, or you can send us an email at this location on this button right here. Next section is My Commitments. And look, everybody, my commitments are started. I submitted some already. So your commitment section will appear on every day of KickStart. So you will always see it at the bottom right before your tracker. So you'll always have it top of mind. Your commitments are what we'll be working on this week. We talked about them yesterday a bit about what they are. Commitments are steps to achieve a goal. So we'll be diving into that this week. There's exercises in your book to help you figure those out. And if you scroll down here, there's a Submit My Commitments area. You can go here, and there's actually an exercise there to help teach you how to find your commitments. Plus, I think about 10 people have already submitted their commitments, so congratulations to those who already submitted some. And we've already reviewed all of your commitments that you've sent.
Yeah,
so
everybody who has sent in an email asking us to review their commitments, we've reviewed them.
Yeah.
And we are very, very huge on making commitments so easy in a sense that you feel like you can achieve them. Yeah. So we really, really, really want to encourage those of you who are here for the first time to don't overwhelm yourself with commitments that are going to be so challenging that you're actually trying to accomplish a goal in 42 days. For reaching towards a goal in those 42 days.
For our veterans, so those of you who've done KickStart a few times, I would take this week to start putting your commitments now and maybe start testing them out right now. You know what you're going to start next week. Maybe some of your commitments you're already ready to start working on. Put them in. Start setting them up. There's a tracker there. You can start practicing your tracking. Maybe you'll submit your commitments and you'll say, you know what, I want Jean-Luc to review them just for kicks and giggles, and we'll send you something back, and you're like, oh my God, I never thought of it that way. So, use this week to really prepare yourself. If you're not sure, if you struggle with your commitments in the past and you found that, by midway you were struggling, then please use this opportunity to have us review them. It's only the two of us looking at them. So
nobody else is reviewing them. And I'm going to throw a gauntlet out to all of our alumni as well. Post some of your old commitments in the Facebook group or on the forum, so that our new people can see what type of commitments were out there and what people were using or doing for themselves.
Below that is track your commitments. So this is explaining to you what tracking your commitments, why we do it, the importance of doing it for KickStart. We'll talk about this in detail later this week, but this is just showing you right now how it's done, where you actually do your tracking. The form is there. You can practice this week just to try it out. You won't see any stats for these, but you can just try things out to see, just once or twice, make sure you get the hang of it.
And the most important thing to remember is always using the exact same email you have for the website. I know we're going to be repeating a lot of this stuff just because we want to make sure that we collect the information for you, right? Because if we're getting the wrong email addresses, we can't match you to in the system. So you have to make sure that you are always using the right email address.
So the next thing I want to show you guys is just a slight difference with our daily guide for KickStart. So on day 1 of KickStart, Monday, April 28th, you'll have a similar page. It'll look like this. You'll scroll down, it'll look very similar, but there's slight changes. There's a nice little quote at the top for you. There's a daily task. So your daily task is what you need to do for the day. Fitness tasks, for example, on the first day of KickStart, we will be doing squats. It explains to you here the beginner, moderate, and advanced version, and that's what we're going to be doing on that day. Step classes. Remember, I was telling you guys that if there's a step class on that day, you'll see the link. Well, here's an example. On Monday, April 28th, we have 2 classes. The Zoom links are right here for you guys. So you don't need to go register for class. They're all right there. On this day, we have no live session, but guess what? Jean-Luc and Nick have done videos for years. We have hundreds and hundreds of videos in our library of topics that we think are very important. And so on days that we don't have live shows, we are adding our old videos in there for you guys to peruse our former library to help you, remember some of those important things like your why.
Because guess what? It doesn't matter what program you're on. If you're on WW, if you're on Gina Livy, if you're doing healthy, a why is still a why, right? So we want to make sure you understand that. Finding your why is one of the most important things in your journey. So never, never forget that. And that's why we wanted to include that here.
Next is a recipe of the day. So every day of KickStart will be a new recipe for you. And so you can actually click here to access the recipe. And I'll show you guys other ways to access the recipe section on Thursday. Next is just a reminder about Stride Kick. For those of you who don't know what Stride Kick is, it's an app. We'll talk about it. I think it's on Wednesday this week. And we will tell you more about what it does and why we're using it. So we'll talk about this on that day. Have a question section still there. Your commitments, just like I said, is here again. Look, same thing as last time. Tracking is there the same way, but below that is your KickStart score. So remember, for those of you who did KickStart before, your KickStart score used to be on its own page. You now can just see it every day. You just scroll to the bottom, and then when the stats are updated, you'll see them there. And you also see, of course, the stat that says, last updated, so you'll know when your stats, because for those of you who are new, the forms do not update right away. I run a process every night that takes your data and does some coding and manipulation and fixes it all and counts everything. Then I extract it and upload it back to the website. So if you're submitting your track, you're like, why isn't it updating? What's going on? It's because I haven't uploaded the data yet. If you ever log in and you see everything's blank, that's because I'm most likely right in the middle of updating the data. That happens sometimes. I get messages going, sorry, I started at 8 a.m. and then I got started work and then it was 10 and I forgot to upload the file. Like that happens often. So if it happens, just send me a message and don't worry. It's not like your data's not gone. It's just I have to upload it still.
And so again, just to reiterate, this is your individual data here now.
Yes.
The first time Nick showed you on the dashboard, that was our overall data for the entire Kickstart members. And now on this section, every day, you'll actually be able to see your own individual data.
Yeah.
Okay. I think one other thing that I wanted to reiterate, especially for the physical activity, the daily physical challenge, there are videos, there are demo videos for you to see how to do the 3 different levels that we have: beginners, moderate, or intermediate, and advanced. So don't feel like you don't have a place to actually see the moves ahead of time, because we want you to be careful as well, of course, right? We want to make sure that you're doing these things properly for yourself.
So now we're ready for today's homework, okay? So now I've shown you the dashboard. So your homework tonight is to go on here.
Go on what?
Where are we going?
Where
are we going? I can't hear you. Like I can't hear it.
Dashboard. You want me to yell it?
Yeah, no. Okay, so tonight you're all going to the dashboard. I want you to look at today's guide. Make sure you do today's homework. Go to your profile. So go to your profile. So let's go. I'll show you the steps again. Click on a daily guide. When you click on that, it'll bring you down to today's tasks. One of them is edit your profile. You click on that, it'll bring you to a new page so you can actually edit your profile. Once you're done this, you go back to the page. You'll see that. 1 second. Back to the page. And you go to the next task, which is introduce yourself in a Kickstart forum. You click on that. It'll bring you to our forum. Post something. If you're a veteran, I'm looking at some of veterans here, and I know some of them have not said hello in there. I'm not going to name names, but I see a lot of faces in here tonight.
Starts with a D.
D, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z.
We don't pick on people, we promise.
No, but let's everybody, I'm replying back to everyone. So when you introduce yourself, I replied to Donna today. Donna is a veteran. She posted and I replied to her comments. So you'll get a nice personal message from us if you actually do that. So I hope you guys will introduce yourselves.
I also recommend take that same post and post it in the Facebook group as well. Feel free to introduce yourself in those places if you want as well.
And then the next task is introduce yourself in a Kickstart private forum.
Oh.
So this is on Facebook. For those of you who have Facebook, introduce yourself here as well. I know this is tedious. Some of you are saying, why am I to do this again? It's important. I know it's as weird for you guys. Hey, believe the science of what we're trying to do here. Please introduce yourself as part of the process.
But I also want to talk about that, because guess what? When you reintroduce yourself at the next part of your chapter in your journey, you're not the person you were when you introduced yourself the first time.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important for us to realize that, right? We're not the same person we were yesterday.
And we're not always here for the same thing. We've changed. So even if we introduced ourselves before, what we're doing why we're here this time is different than the last time. And that's why we want to hear where people are at. It's seeing updates of your lives, say, some of you have been sharing what's been going on this summer. I know Sherry shared something happened to her this year. She shared about that. So please use this time to introduce yourself. We are here to help you. So if you need help with your commitments, start submitting them. We're here to help support you in every step of the way. We're trying to make this as easy for everyone. We don't want anybody to be stressed. So if you're stressed, let me know, because I'm really trying to avoid stress this time. Like, we're taking things slowly, step by step, each day. This is it today. That's all we're doing today. There's nothing else. No more lessons. We're done. So we'll do a few quick announcements. I'll let you do those because I've been talking enough. And we will then afterwards close the session to stay in Zoom to talk to your personal questions. For those of you who need more other things you want us to answer, we'll be back there for you right after.
Definitely. So we do have a few announcements. Just to reiterate, we talked about them yesterday, but if you weren't here, again, first things first, remember to register for Kickstart if you haven't already done so. You can purchase our books and the cookbooks, all of that. You know where to go. It's directly on the website. If you want support, don't forget the Kickstart community. If you're looking to support the Kickstart community, again, we have our Sunset Gourmets that you can try. We also have Tupperware if you're interested in Tupperware. We also have Amazon products. I know those of you who are not purchasing Amazon right now, total respect. No issues there whatsoever. I completely love everybody for your beliefs and what you guys are doing. So please, please, please. No, nothing is You are not obligated to do anything here except for be present with us. That's the only thing we ask you to be. We ask you to be present, participate as much as you can. Sometimes get out of your comfort zone, because I know sometimes it's not comfortable to be amongst a group of people, but know that we are all here to support each other. Next is we have the Kelly Shire Breast Cancer Foundation Pink Ribbon Walk, followed by a picnic. And this is happening in Uxbridge at the Trail Hub on May 24th at 10 a.m. And we will also be afterwards celebrating Nick's birthday, because it's the following weekend on the 28th, but we'll be celebrating it early. There's a few places to eat there.
42? Yeah.
You will be 42 years old, honey. Yes, you will be 42 years old. And then also on June 7th, we will be doing the Shoppers Drug Mart Run for Women 5K walk. That is June 7th, downtown at 8 a.m. If you're still interested in joining our team, feel free, reach out to us. We have the information. You can go to jeanlucandnick.com/run-for-women. And then the next thing too, which is so exciting, this just was launched yesterday, which is the Toronto Harbor Cruise, which we are still in the process of choosing a date. We have approximately about 15 to 20 people who are like 100%, and then 10 people who are at the, so we're almost 40 people who are really interested. We'd love to do this. We've always wanted to do one. We're looking to making a fun event out of this. So if you are interested, please reach out or go to our website. I think Nick's posting all the links in the Zoom chat right now as we speak.
And I forgot to talk about Spaces, the Wix app. So someone reminded me in chat, and I was also supposed to be today's lesson. So for those of you wondering, Spaces by Wix is an app that you can download. The only thing you can do with Spaces by Wix app is really RSVP for events or check out the forum. That's mainly what it's used for. The dashboard is really what you guys will want to use this time. The Spaces by Wix app is available for those of you who want to, but since you guys have the links now on the dashboard, I'm actually, after this session, we'll be removing all mentions of the app after this session, because I'm testing out these Zoom links on the website instead. So eventually the RSVPing won't even matter anymore. You won't need to do it. I'm actually might even remove it entirely, that you don't have to actually reserve. It's just going to be a session.
But it is handy for the actual forum if you want to use it for the forum or the actual chat function, because you can actually still chat with other members through the actual Spaces app. Yeah, I should say.
Yeah, so that's still available, but again, you don't need it anymore because the Zoom links are all available for you now on the dashboard right there. So you should be good to go without needing to do that anymore. But if you want it, of course, it's still available. So yeah, that's it. So we'll see you all tomorrow night.
Anything else after this?
No, that's it.
Okay,
and then I just want to make sure tomorrow night we have another orientation. So tomorrow we're talking about daily tasks. So we're going to go more into detail about the daily task section at the top of your KickStart daily guide. We're also going to talk about the psychic market, what it's for, why it's necessary. We're also going to talk about some of the friendships we've heard have been developed from the psychic market. And also on tomorrow, we will be talking about physical tasks and step classes. So we'll talk to you guys about step up, stride kick, all of these topics will be tomorrow. On Wednesday, we'll be actually doing a commitment workshop. So we'll be sitting together to actually start working on your commitments as a group. Well, I've started working on mine. Jean-Luc is thinking about his. So we'll work on that together on Wednesday, Thursday.
And on Thursday, it's orientation day 5. We're going to talk about recipes. We'll talk about our cooking shows. We're going to also talk about Tupperware and the contests.
Yes. And then this Sunday coming up is our KickStart kickoff, where we're going to finalize our 10 commitments together on that night.
We will be taking our books or our PDFs
and our pen.
We will be taking out a black pen.
Or red.
Or green, or blue, whatever color you want.
Fuchsia.
Color, you can make it pretty.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? One thing I have to say is there were some like pretty amazing KickStart decoupagers, and they made their books like rocking. It was insane. We saw Kelly's. I know a few of you done it, and it was awesome. So do it again. I think it's fantastic. Make this part of your everyday life.
And that session will also be talking about the letter that you're writing to yourself, which is your Saturday homework. So you should have it done by Sunday. So make sure you're checking that on Saturday. And then we'll also be doing vision boards on Sunday together. So either digital, or if you have magazines in your house, if you want to really get into it, get, cut scissors and glue sticks, bring that. But we'll be doing that on Sunday. And then after that, we start. So thank you for joining us.
You can definitely repeat commitments.
Yeah.
You can repeat a commitment as long as you want. If you don't feel that commitment has stuck,
yeah,
you can repeat.
Definitely. So I'll end the live feed. For those of you in Zoom, stick around. We're going to answer your questions, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Bye.
Bye.